septic tank doing whatever septic tanks do? Don't call 3 different companies and play contractor roulette. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. We handle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning all under one roof. That's one call, one company, and one bill that won't give you a heart attack. For fast, reliable, and slightly ducky service, call 904-862-6769 or waddle over to duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the duck.
Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacks Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacks Beach or visit apexroofingfl.com.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Chelsea here from Renewal by Anderson. Before you invite family and friends over for summer fun, treat yourself and your home to new windows and doors from Renewal by Anderson. Renewal by Anderson has a great deal to get you started. We're excited to offer our Window of Opportunity Savings Event. Buy 2 windows or patio doors and get the third 60% off. Plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. License number CGC 1527613.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Come in, Linda. Over.
We've got a sea of new vehicles and they're priced so low they're rocking the boat. Come check out our biggest selection of inventory with prices that don't break the bank and our wow ya experience that will ensure smooth sailing for your next car purchase. Plus, take advantage of our peace of mind warranties, transparent pricing to provide you with a peace of mind. You better beat the surge and head to the all-new Beaver Toyota or Chevrolet for the car buying experience you deserve.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather starting to turn for the better, look ahead. Get that backyard ready for spring with a new screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are best in the business. If you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. Dylan Denmark here with 1010XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to and should be yours. Online at kuhnflowers.com.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. If you have a school, team, or group that would benefit from a team store, you're in luck because we now offer team stores. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's the Mangler.
As a contractor, finding reliable subcontractors is key to project success. Prosser here. Guys, that's where Lloyd's Heating and Air shines. Not just your mechanical HVAC experts, but your partner, understanding every facet of construction to keep your project on track. Lloyd's, will spot issues early before they cause delays. If you're a contractor with a need for reliability, visit LloydsHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air, keeping you comfortable in every season.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Jaguar rookie minicamp in the rearview mirror. OTAs for the Jacksonville Jaguars actually begin next week as this offseason continues churning right along. Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 was out at rookie minicamp this past weekend. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Jamal, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Hacker. How you doing?
Hey, Jamal, we're good. Thank you for the time. All right, you and I haven't spoke since the draft. You got your first glimpse at Travis Hunter this past weekend, albeit helmets and shorts in a rookie minicamp setting. But having said that, what were your thoughts on the Jaguars' first-round pick?
Look, I mean, it's still way too early on anything. I mean, I think I asked Liam Cohen after practice what he thought about Travis Hunter, and I mean, he kind of said similar things. He said he saw him run out of his shoes and make a catch, which is good. So, look, we saw him get out there on the field and run around. I mean, honestly, I think maybe the biggest thing that's clear is just the energy that he brings out there to the field and with his teammates. I mean, between drills, just about every second, if he wasn't, watching something, running a route or preparing to go through a drill or something, he was dancing and just enjoying being out there on the field with his teammates. I think that's maybe the more clear thing where they say, look, it's the energy that he brings around that they really want in the building just as much, if not even more than the football player. I talked to his college teammate, Cameron Stillman Craig, after practice, and some kind of way we got on the topic of Travis and fishing, and he said he's never fished with Travis because he's not a good fisherman and Travis is too competitive. So some kind of way it would turn into a competition. He wasn't sure he'd make it off the boat if he lost.
Well, you talk about energy, and I agree with Travis Hunter, the energy, the excitement, and that was obvious, Jamal, in the fan base. For a rookie minicamp in the early to mid portion of May, there were a ton of people out there on Saturday.
It's sold out. It's sold out, Hacker. And I mean, it was loud. And this was that morning, I was concerned. It kind of stormed and rained a little bit that morning. I was trying to ask our meteorologist over at Channel 4, like, hey, what's going on, guys? Just trying to make sure that I wasn't sure, if the rain was going to keep people away from the concern, but it was packed and it was loud. I mean, this was comparable to some of the training camp practices, and it's May, and we're months away from this thing. So, look, the excitement's there. After the practice, there was a small group of fans, and we were waiting for Travis to do his press conference, and I guess the guy was trying to yell to Travis because he wanted an autograph. And as Travis is going to the podium, I guess security's trying to clear out the stands, and the guy is just continuing to yell, "I'll wait for you, Travis. I got season tickets just for you," from the side. So look, there's excitement there, and there's a lot of people that want to see Travis Hunter.
Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Jamal, what does it say about 34-year-old James Gladstone that his first time at bat, literally the first draft pick he's ever making as an NFL general manager, he does that trade a couple of weeks ago, gets Travis Hunter. I mean, you want to talk about putting your stamp on the organization right off the bat. I think James Gladstone accomplished that a couple of weeks back.
Hey, he told us he is uniquely experienced with the philosophy of not worrying about them picks in a few different words, Hacker. You know what I'm saying. Look, this guy said he wanted to make a statement pick. He understood that the first pick they made was going to be one that definitely defined who they were in their tenure. And he said if they got a chance to be bold, they were going to do it. And, I mean, that's about as bold of a move as you can make. Look, I think James Gladstone understands that there's a couple of things that needed to happen. Look, Jaguars fans, honestly, they needed a little bit of juice. They've seen this thing flip over a handful of times, and if you wanted to get people to believe, you had to give them a reason to believe. So he went and made a splash, not just, oh, well, we've got a head coach and we've got a new GM. No, we've got a new star player in town. So he went and did that. Plus, I think he understood and looked at the roster, and I think it became clear to him some of the stuff that we've said probably for years is that, look, the bottom of the roster, while, yeah, it needed to get better, they needed better depth, but overall the starters were fine. But the thing this team's missing is blue chip players. They didn't have enough star players that in big moments showed up to be the difference makers. And he felt like they had to go get one. So why not go get a guy who can possibly be that blue chip player, that star player for you at two positions? I mean, that helps remedy it. I think he counts twice if he can play at two spots, right?
No, he does. And to that point, obviously working on offense this past week, he said that he's going to start working on defense. Liam Cohen said that as well when they get back out on the field this week before OTAs next week. Jamal, where's this thing going to land? Do you think he's a full-time starter on offense and gets maybe, 15, 20 snaps on defense? Is that where you think we're going to wind up?
I think you're vastly underselling it, buddy.
You think he's going to play a lot more on defense, huh?
I think he's going to play a lot more. I think the comments of him majoring on offense, I think were vastly misconstrued and overplayed. I think people were taking what they were trying to say is we're going to start him on offense and get him up to speed at wide receiver, and then we'll get him to defense as they told us they were going to do. And people were taking that as, oh, he's going to be just the wide receiver. No, he's going to play both ways, Hacker. And I don't think it's going to be 20 snaps. I think he's going to play both ways, and he's going to play both ways a lot, would be my expectation right now. I mean, I don't think it's going to be 100% on either one side. But I would not be surprised if we finished the year and it was like 60% the snaps on defense and 80% of the snaps on offense.
Boy, I just can't even wrap my head around that. No one's done that in the NFL in decades, and obviously the game has changed so much. That would be absolutely wild. Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. All right, Jamal, the other rookies. Liam Cohen singled out a couple of them. I'm curious your thoughts. Let's begin with Ransaw and Milam. What were your thoughts on the safety and the offensive lineman?
Man, Milam is a big boy, man. That is a big guy who's got some movement skills to him. Look, he's a good addition. He was towering over the other two offensive linemen they had out there. So I can see what they like about Wyatt Milam. I think he's going to slot in as a starter day one. I've said that since they drafted him, and I just seen him out there, seeing how big he is. I mean, they're not in pads yet, but I'm there's nothing that convinced me otherwise right now. Ransaw, I mean, look, he moves well. I've seen a lot of him over time. So he's a guy that's going to move around and has some good speed and a good feel. I mean, smooth back pedal. Look, I think he is a guy that I think fans are going to grow to like on that defense just because of the way he can cover ground so quickly. I mean, when he decides it's time to run, there's not many people on the field that are going to be faster than him.
Jack Kaiser might have been the biggest head scratcher among the fan base during the draft, but I believe Liam Cohen singled him out first among all the rookies when talking about guys that stood out after, of course, he was asked 5 questions about Travis Hunter. What are your thoughts about Jack Kaiser?
Yeah, look, I think I'm not sure why that one was a head scratcher. Look, the Jaguars are maybe a year away from having a possible need at linebacker. Think about it. Chad Muma last year was contract. Devin Lloyd last year was contract. Technically, if they wanted to get out of Foyer's contract in a year, they could do that too. So, I mean, in a year from now, we could be talking about a soft reset at linebacker. Linebacker is one of those quiet needs that they needed to add to on the roster. And Jack Kaiser feels that void in a couple of ways. They had an open spot because Caleb Johnson was gone, and he's been on the roster at linebacker for a few years, but Caleb Johnson made his bread on special teams. Jack Kaiser was a fantastic special teamer in college. He was also a guy who did a lot of different things for that Notre Dame defense. At the Senior Bowl, he even played a little safety just because that's what they needed him to do because of the numbers. And yeah, Liam Cohen gave him the shout out when he was asked who stood out. He said Jack Kaiser because of his leadership and the work ethic that he was showing. I mean, they talked about some of the guys at the hotel. They said the linebackers were in the in the lobby of the hotel going through walkthroughs while the wide receivers were outside doing their walkthroughs in the parking lot. So, I mean, there's definitely some leadership in both of those groups that's putting in some work. So, yeah, Jack Kaiser's a guy that I think people are going to see out on the field this year, at the very least on special teams. And who knows, we could fast forward from a year from now and be talking about him as a locked-in starter, because it could be a very different looking position.
Final moments with Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. You know, Jamal, because of what Liam Cohen did last year in Tampa with Bucky Irving, who was a mid-round draft pick, obviously a lot of talk about the running backs, LaQuint Allen from Syracuse, but primarily Bashal Tootin from Virginia Tech. Your thoughts on both guys, Tootin in particular, and do you think Lightning could strike twice and they could find their version of Bucky Irving?
Look, Tootin's definitely a well-built running back. I mean, he looks like an NFL running back, and I mean, he's got athletic juice to go with him. He made a nice fingertip catch, like digging one out from the ground during drills. He's a guy with some skill to him, and he's a guy that James Gladstone said he spotlighted from the second way before he got the job here in Jacksonville. He said during the interview process, he brought a list of guys that he thought would be day 3 priority players, and that was part of his interview pitch to get the GM job. One of those guys was Bashal Tootin. So, I mean, this is a guy that clearly Gladstone's believed in for a while. He did some good things at Virginia Tech, and there was nothing going through the drills at rookie minicamp that swayed me from looking at him as a guy who has some serious juice to him. I don't know if he's going to be a day 1 starter. I mean, I think for that to happen, something's got to shake with that running back room, whether that's somebody moving on or an injury. But I think he's a guy who's going to have some potential down the road, maybe even next year or at some point this season when injuries do kick in. So I think Tootin's definitely a big play guy. I think Lightning could strike twice. Because he has the potential, he has the juice to him to be that sort of player. But I think the guy that I'm penciling in that almost locked in, LaQuint Allen, his skill set as a pass blocker, man, that's going to be a guy that's hard to keep off the field because of that skill set.
Not only that, and he caught 64 passes out of the backfield last year for Syracuse, which I had to do a double take when I saw that. 64 catches for a running back last year in a college football season. That's absolutely wild. Jamal, I want to ask you about, biggest questions you have heading into OTAs next week. But finally, Jonah Monheim from USC. I had Lincoln Riley on last week, and of course Lincoln, said that his guy got way, way underdrafted. I know the Jaguars liked Monheim, and I look at this guy and I say, all right, he played a lot of games at tackle, played a lot of games at guard, obviously was a center last year. Boy, I got to wonder if they might have found a gem in round 7. I know a lot of people were pretty surprised when Monheim was available there in the 7th round.
Yeah, look, I mean, they clearly like this guy. They like his versatility. He's played all over the offensive line. They said Tony Baselli was the one that made the call to let him know he was drafted. Obviously, Baselli, a USC guy too, so there's something there, a little bit of a connection to Tony and a guy in the front office. I think they're excited to have Monheim in the building, and there's definitely some competition at that center spot where who knows? I mean, we could look up Ryan Hainsey isn't exactly on this game-breaking contract where they're going to be like, well, we paid him, we got to put him on the field. If Monheim shows up and takes care of business, he could be a dark horse to start early for the Jags. I mean, seriously, that center job is wide open. So, yeah, I think they got a good one. I like the draft pick. I really like this draft class from top to bottom. Now, obviously, we don't know what it's going to completely come up to and how all the pieces are going to fall together right now. But looking at it, I'm pretty happy with what he did.
All right, Jamal, OTAs next week. Now the free agency is mostly in the rearview mirror. The draft is in the rearview mirror. Biggest question mark for you about this roster heading into OTAs?
I got to see how the wide receiver room comes together, Hacker. I mean, moving on from Gabe Davis, while you didn't get much from him last year, that opens up a whole lot of questions because now you really just have Travis, BT, Parker, and Diami Brown. What do you do behind them? Is it 2 undrafted free agents? How are you going to work this thing? So we'll see how the undrafted free agent class comes together. 22 guys. that are undrafted. So we're going to have a handful of them that make the final roster. So those guys are going to be trying to gain some ground on the rest of the guys out there. So that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Definitely the wide receiver room and how the pieces come together. But those undrafted guys that are going to be vying for spots.
Jamal, what do you guys have coming up on Channel 4 in the coming days heading into OTAs next week?
Man, we're there all the time. We'll be kind of rolling out our schedule stuff on Wednesday. That's the big one. When the schedule comes out, we'll have plenty of stuff there, and maybe even throw out a record or two to see what the Jaguars are going to do way too early. But we'll take a look at all of that. So it'll be over there on Channel 4.
Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Jamal, thank you for the time, pal. I'll see you at OTAs next Monday.
All right. Thanks, Hacker.
Take the straightaway at 200 miles an hour.
He's got him. Oh, they're ready to go.
It's NASCAR's All-Star Race at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Sunday night, NASCAR is tuned up by Maxie's Mechanics on Jacksonville's NASCAR station 1010XL.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
When you're experiencing sudden, unexpected dental pain, the last thing you want to hear is that your dentist can't see you until next week. That's why I'm so glad I found Harbor Dental Care. Whenever I call, they always find a way to see me within 24 hours, and they can usually fix whatever's wrong the same day. Plus, they have locations throughout Jacksonville, so no matter what side of town I'm on, I can always count on the same great care. If you want to find a dentist who believes in treating people right, learn more at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. Did you know that mosquito bites could lead to heartworm for your dog or cat? When mosquitoes show up, pet parents want them gone. Terminix takes mosquitoes down fast, just like they did at my house for our pup. Terminix knows that pets are part of the family. They do what it takes to help protect them. When mosquitoes show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a mosquito problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dan Hicken with a game changer. I've tested the field, and Checkmate Coatings is my new go-to for durable, jaw-dropping floor coatings. Better play, better results. I'm Brendan from Checkmate Coatings. Our precision coatings make your floors the MVP of any space. Slam dunk your floors at checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Go inside your home team's locker room with Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline.
Check out my blog at 1010XL.com
so you can catch all the news and nuggets you need to know.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At the Y summer camps, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
If you're heading to the Og or you're already part of the nation's oldest, don't forget to drop into Sunset Grill. For over 30 years, serving up great chowder, seafood, wings, and cold beer. Sunset Grill, somewhere on A1A, St. Augustine Beach.
Need cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash, and they're ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. And gold market prices are at a record high. Get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today, 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wygo Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. We're in for Blue all week. 1010XL and 92.5 FM. The NBA Draft Lottery is going on right now. They have just gone to commercial break. We know what teams are going to be picking in the top 4. We don't know exactly where they're going to be picking yet. That'll be announced in moments. Of course, the big prize tonight is Cooper Flagg, the all-world freshman from Duke, who is going to be the number 1 pick. It's either going to be Charlotte, Philadelphia, San Antonio, or Dallas, as a lot of lottery movement took place. If it's the Mavericks, that'll be hilarious because they just traded Luka, and they could have potentially had Cooper Flagg and Luka. San Antonio's already got Wemby, and if you team Cooper Flagg with him, good grief. Charlotte's terrible. They could use anything. And Philadelphia's obviously got Joel Embiid, who's aging, Paul George, who's aging, Tyrese Maxey, and if you put Cooper Flagg there, that would be intriguing as well. I've never understood whether it was Shaq, Chris Webber, Tim Duncan, LeBron James, Dwight Howard, Zion Williamson, any draft, right? Why they don't do the lottery live on television. They do it in a back room where they have witnesses, quote unquote, and then they bring the cards out and then they do it live on TV when they reveal. Well, you would end all criticism of the lottery. You would end all skepticism of the lottery if you just had ESPN rolling on it live when the ping pong balls came out of the machine. I've never understood why they don't do that. It leads the mind to wonder why they don't do that. But nevertheless, we'll let you know as soon as the number 1 pick has been decided. The NBA playoffs have been great. It's been crazy, the fact that home court means absolutely nothing. You know, the Knicks and the Celtics are playing Game 4 coming up here in about 15 minutes at the Garden. The home team is 0-3 in this series. The Knicks won the first 2 in Boston. Boston won Game 3 in New York. You look at Minnesota and Golden State, kind of the same thing. The home team is 1-2 in that series. You look at Indiana, Cleveland. The home team is 1-3 in that series. Home court was supposed to mean something. Once upon a time, it did mean something in the NBA playoffs. That time has come and gone. The road team has been absolutely dominant in these playoffs. Again, I've enjoyed it. It doesn't have maybe the star factor without the Lakers. You know, some of the bigger markets are already gone. Some of the bigger players are already gone. But this Knicks-Celtics series is pretty intriguing. And again, Game 4 tips off at Madison Square Garden in less than 15 minutes. Big game for the Knicks. They were up 2-0. Boston was on life support. You were going back to Madison Square Garden for games 3 and 4. And the Celtics came in there on, Saturday night and just absolutely punished New York on their home floor. Knicks still lead the series 2-1, but it doesn't feel like that after Saturday night. So it'll be curious to see if the defending world champion Celtics can even that series. Indiana has taken a commanding 3-1 lead over Cleveland. Indiana, great basketball team. Not a lot of people know about them, but a great basketball team. They're fun to watch. And Andrew Nembhard, the former Gator, has done very, very well for them. All right, Travis Holmes of Big Cat Country is coming up in a matter of moments to talk more Jaguars. The Charlotte Hornets get the 4th pick in the draft. The Philadelphia 76ers get the 3rd pick in the draft, which means the number 1 pick in the draft will go to the Dallas Mavericks because San Antonio gets number 2. Dallas, who just traded Luka Doncic in one of the all-time bonehead trades in not only NBA history, but in all of professional sports, has just won the draft lottery, which means they're going to replace Luka Doncic with Cooper Flagg.
It's so fixed.
That is unbelievable. I mean, imagine if they would have kept Luka. Now, they probably wouldn't have been in the lottery, right? But if Luka and Cooper were on the same team, are you kidding?
So they had 1.8% chance of getting the number 1 pick.
I'm telling you, I don't understand why they don't do it live. If somebody can explain it to me, why ESPN doesn't televise the ping pong balls coming out live, I'm all ears. Because things like this leads the mind to wander. Biggest story of the NBA regular season was Luka Doncic being traded from Dallas. The basically sports fandom riot that Maverick fans had, giving up season tickets, saying they're done with Dallas, wanting the GM's head on a stick because he traded Luka. And now here we are 2 months later, and they win the draft lottery and are going to draft the most highly anticipated rookie in the NBA in over a decade plus in Cooper Flagg. That's interesting, right? If nothing else, that's interesting. So congratulations to the Dallas Mavericks. San Antonio, the 2nd pick. Philadelphia picks 3, and Charlotte picks number 4. Back into the NFL, back into Jaguar rookie minicamp. Travis Holmes, Big Cat Country, and one of the hosts of the Duval Dive podcast joins me next. Let's talk Travis Hunter, Jags rookie class, and more next on a Monday evening here in Northeast Florida. We're glad you're with us right here on Hacker After Dark.
1010XL takes you inside the program director's office with Dan and Jeff.
You have broken just about every city ordinance that pertains to this line of work.
The Drill.
You can't say we haven't been a lot of laughs.
Mornings on 1010XL. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by San Jose Collision.
A statement was made by the Gators baseball team this weekend, stealing the series from the top-ranked team in college baseball, the Texas Longhorns, with an 8-2 win on Friday and a 4-1 victory on Sunday to take the series. For the Gators women's lacrosse team, they're back to the quarterfinals this year as they took down Stanford 13-12 in double overtime on Sunday afternoon.
Need a fast casual option that's healthy, fresh, and delicious? Choose the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. Gyros, salads, hummus, and more made completely fresh right as you order. Off 210 and St. John's Parkway. The Great Greek Mediterranean Grill.
Frank Frangie here. I was talking to a buddy the other day. His HOA told him his old fence had to go. I said, man, call Coil Fencing. They've been around the block since 1927. Heck, they probably built half the fences in Jacksonville. They do it all. Tough chain link for security. Those fancy aluminum ones the HOA actually likes. Nearly a century of keeping yards safe and looking good. If you need a fence, call Coil. You can trust the folks at Coil. 904-356-4821 or visit CoilJacks.com. COYLE Jacks.com.
Is an injury keeping you on the sidelines? Whether it's your shoulder, neck, back, knee, wrist,
wrist, or ankle, don't let pain hold you back any longer. At Injury Care Centers, they offer the same high-tech treatments trusted by the pros to supercharge your recovery without surgery. The road to recovery starts the moment you pick up the phone. 904-783-0008. That's 904-783-0008. Injury care starts at Injury Care Centers.
Weekends were made for sports, and I'll tell you my take on this weekend's most interesting options. 1010XL's Media Mogul Hicken here. Watch for Musing with the Media Mogul on YouTube and Facebook. Made possible by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
All right, fellas, I got to brag a little. I'm down 40 pounds thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss and keeping it off.
That's cute, Matt. I'm down 110 pounds. That's like losing a Backstreet Boy.
Okay, so I'm the rookie here. I just started, but I'm already down 13 pounds, and let me tell you, it feels good to see the results already.
That's the thing, man. Awaken 180 works. No shots, no meds, no gimmicks, just real food, real support, and real results.
The support team is a game changer because we all know it's so easy to get distracted. But with Awaken 180, you get your own coach and a plan that works with your lifestyle.
And free support for life.
Plus, no gym workouts required, which is great because let's be honest, I wasn't running wind sprints either.
25, 40, even 110 pounds. If we all can do it, so can you. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
That's 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
What does your dream backyard look like? Hey, it's Joe C. and my friends at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can design an outdoor kitchen layout custom built to your taste and lifestyle. You dream it, they can build it. CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Visit CSSOutdoor.com.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success. Make the most of every lawn with Kubota commercial landscaping equipment. From the productivity-boosting Z700 mower to the reliable SVL track loader, it's a lineup built to get the job done right. Because when your reputation is on the line, you need equipment that will never let you down. Visit Coastal Equipment in Jacksonville or McClenny.
Power for the great outdoors. Coastal Equipment.
Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Hey, Hicken here. So much of what makes us a family takes place in our homes. That's where Zero Res comes in. I love Zero Res, and this month get Zero Resified from Jacksonville's #1 carpet and air duct cleaner with May Mayhem. A 3-room special starting at $149 plus the 4th room is free. You owe it to yourself and your family to breathe healthy, happy, and clean. Call Zero Res 28757 or go online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and say you want the Hicken special. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Jaguar rookie minicamp in the rearview mirror. OTAs for the Jaguars begin next week, and we are about a month away from the mandatory veteran minicamp in the middle portion of June. Travis Holmes, host of the Duval Dive podcast. You can also catch his work at Big Cat Country. Always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Travis, how we doing?
Man, I am doing wonderful. It was a ridiculously rainy but also hot day out at Rookie Minicamp. But the fans showed up, man, and Travis Hunter and the rest of the Jacksonville Jaguars rookie class showed up with him.
You know, to that point, you write for one of the biggest Jaguar fan websites out there, probably the biggest in Big Cat Country. I mean, the excitement that this fan base has about Travis Hunter and I guess the new regime, right? Gladstone, Cohen, Baselli. You really saw that on Saturday in the middle portion of May with a sellout there at the Miller Electric Center.
Man, an hour and a half before the practice opens, the fans are going around. They're in a line going around the corner. Like, it was obvious. Like, and that's with the rain, that's with the weather and everything else, sun and shine. Like, the excitement surrounding the Jacksonville Jaguars and the attention being given nationally and locally around the team is just something different, man. We haven't seen this, in my opinion.
All right, Travis, let's talk about Travis Hunter. We'll talk about the trade to get him in a moment, but for what you saw, it was a rookie minicamp, helmets and shorts, but clearly Travis Hunter looked the part on Saturday.
He absolutely did, and it's exactly what you'd expect. One of the weird things that I honestly never realized until he became a Jacksonville Jaguar and started practicing with the team was he practices with no gloves. As I was saying, it was raining pretty much all morning before practice began. The field was a little bit, wet, not soaked or anything like that, but he's out there practicing, no gloves on, even though, historically he plays with gloves. And that's one of those things I'm just like, oh yeah, that's pretty smart. Never even thought about it. Getting acclimated to practicing down, in a wet field. And if it is a wet game day, then you can play right through it because you're used to doing that. And if it's, with the new gloves that are all extra sticky and everything else on game days, it's probably going to feel like a cheat code. But he's out there getting all the applause, catching a lot of great balls, no drops, looking generally smooth coming in and out of his breaks. Like, it's exactly what you'd want to see in an orientation, which is basically what Rookie Minicamp is from Travis Hunter. So great job.
Travis Holmes of Big Cat Country. Travis, I haven't talked to you since the draft. I mean, what does it say about Baselli, Cohen, and primarily Gladstone that their first time at bat and their first draft pick with this new regime, they do what they do. They pull off the trade to number 2 to take the Heisman Trophy winner. You talk about putting a stamp on the franchise right out of the gate. They obviously have done that. Whether it works or not, that's a different conversation. But for the here and now, what a statement by these guys in doing what they did to get Travis Hunter.
Agreed. And that weird thing about it is it feels like a lifetime ago just having those pre-draft conversations with everyone in the media and everyone around the team where we're all just talking about, is it going to be Mason Graham or is it going to be an offensive lineman? And now we just look back on that and it's just like, like you can do nothing but laugh because it's not even in the same realm of this current reality that it is to be in Travis Hunter's Duval County. And I don't want to make this all about just him because a lot of the guys look like they absolutely belong, from that draft class. But this is obviously the highlight. Like, Travis Hunter and the team's ability to make that move, their boldness to make that move while coming in their first offseason, not even having the full offseason there, like, that speaks volumes to the fact that they're not shying away from this. And I kind of applaud it. We've seen those quote unquote prototypical football guys in Jacksonville for a long time who may just be, they just want to make the picks, collect the picks and see where it falls. And then we just end up having that 500 or under football team. So let's see what happens when these guys are just being bold and saying, quote unquote, F them picks, and wherever it lands, it lands. But you can't say they didn't get the best talent in the draft because they absolutely did.
Travis, where is this going to land with Travis Hunter? I mean, offense is where he started. He said he's going to start working on defense this week. We'll see what happens in OTAs. But I've talked to a lot of people that say, yeah, primarily offense, sprinkle him in on defense. I've talked to some people that say, no, it's going to be more than a sprinkling on defense. He's going to be on the field a lot for Anthony Campanile and the defensive staff. I mean, what's your thought on ultimately where it lands come September?
I think it's probably going to maybe not be what it was at Colorado, but I would lean towards it being something closer to that. If you're going to try to test something like that out, I mean, you haven't seen that in the modern NFL for sure. Someone truly starting, a game on both sides of the ball or something along those lines. But I truly believe if you have a younger talent who has shown the ability and the capacity to kind of take that on, you're going to try that earlier on than later, right? Like you do that when they're younger in their career on that rookie contract, when you think that they can actually absolutely take it. And if he shows that in practice that he has the ability to take it, as far as his legs are concerned, as far as the sports science part is concerned, and the media and the physicians on the side, if they agree, I think you may see something like Travis Hunter playing, 70 to 80% of the snaps on the offense and maybe 60 to 70% of the snaps on defense. I don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility early on for him.
Travis Holmes, the Duval Dive podcast, also Big Cat Country with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. All right, the draft pick's not named Travis Hunter. Again, it was one rookie minicamp. We're not going to ask for the X's and O's from you, but Caleb Ransaw, Wyatt Milam, your thoughts on the 2 third-round picks?
Well, Wyatt was playing multiple offensive line positions. Now, they only had the 3 linemen present because out of the 34 attendees. So that could simply be out of necessity. It could be just basically because they wanted to kind of get him acclimated to playing all these spots. So, like, you won't know that until OTAs. You won't really know that until the true offseason is kind of going through. But he looked good. He was working on his footwork on the side with the coaching staff. Like, I thought he looked like he belonged, if that made sense. Again, this is, to your point, rookie minicamp. You don't really know what you're going to see. And the whole point of this is just to get guys acclimated with the communication, getting guys acclimated with the playbook and things of that nature. And from that perspective, it looked like they absolutely belong. Didn't see enough from Caleb Ransaw, honestly, because the defensive backs were on the opposite side of the field for much of practice. So just based on that, again, looked like a guy who belonged. I appreciated seeing him in that 27 jersey. That just felt great to me as the whole Rasheem Mathis callback. But overall, just looking to see more maybe when OTAs get here.
We're looking to see if one of the 2 running backs can be the Bucky Irving for Liam Cohen that he had in Tampa. I love LaQuint Allen the more I learn about him. And again, I had a double take when I saw his stats from Syracuse. The fact that he had 64 receptions out of the backfield last year is a crazy number. People always talk about his pass blocking and his blitz pickup. And then Bashal Tutin's a guy that I think more people are probably excited about, the 4th-round pick out of Virginia Tech. A lot of people very high on him. Again, a lot of excitement because of what Liam Cohen did with Bucky Irving in Tampa. What's an early thought from you on the 2 rookie running backs?
Well, I enjoyed watching LaQuint just to start off with him, just because he was really smooth. Like, to your point, he's a guy who averaged 40 yards a game in 2024 with Syracuse, and he looks the part. Like, he's a guy who truly can be split out wide and also catch passes out of the backfield. He had 0 drops on the day, again, with a pretty wet field overall, and it looked like, again, he belonged. But then I'm looking at across the board from his teammate Bashal too, and he looks like another guy. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you. You knew he was explosive just looking at his game film, but then you see him working the bags, you see him working the ladders, you see him adding a spin move just for fun onto the end of the spin move at the end of the drill, and I'm like, oh my God! All right, yeah. As long as he doesn't have any fumbling issues or anything like that, I think we're going to be just fine with this guy. Because in that piece, all right, he looked like he absolutely was explosive. Like, a lot of guys have that 4.3 combine numbers, and then you're like, oh, yeah, that's great. He's a guy who has that 4.3 here, and he absolutely looks just as explosive. Now, I will point out that he did also have the 1 drop on the day. It was actually the only drop that I saw at practice. So take that for what you will. Again, it is also a rookie minicamp, but nevertheless, I wanted to be sure to mention it. But Quint looks good out in the passing game. Bashal looks explosive as all can be, and I'm kind of excited to see what he uses with those 2 guys, and how does he sprinkle in Travis Etienne or Tank Bigsby, and kind of where that whole backfield competition is kind of going to land at the end of all of this.
Yeah, Tootin a 4.32 at the combine. I believe he was the fastest running back in this year's draft class. Travis, as we begin to wrap up, Jack Kaiser was a guy singled out by Liam Cohen. Now, I think the fan base, when the draft happened, said that might have been the biggest head scratcher, not for Kaiser the player, but he's on the older side, and is there a need at linebacker? But when you start thinking about it, potentially the last years here in Jacksonville for both Chad Muma and Devin Lloyd, there could be a need at linebacker, and Liam Cohen really liked what he saw at Jack Kaiser on Saturday.
Right. I mean, he's one of those guys who you just knew when they drafted him, they were going to like him just based on his leadership traits, based on the fact that he's been a 4-year starter at Notre Dame, based on the fact that everyone you talk to says, all right, this is a guy who's going to run through someone's face. Like if you're talking about his ability to stop the run, his ability to bring down guys, his ability not to miss, many tackles, like those things. And then he's a guy who's going to help you instill the culture that you're kind of looking for as being that hard worker off the field and on the field. So from just that perspective, for a rookie minicamp, you have a guy who's a little bit older who's going to basically be your veteran at rookie minicamp. And you knew that walking in, and it's great to hear that that's exactly what you got, even from the coach coming off the field after those first 2 days of rookie minicamp. So, yeah, it may be a little bit of a head scratcher from other perspectives, but if you're looking at it from the fact that they're trying to bring in their own new culture, yeah, it makes total sense. You're going to bring in as many leaders and as many guys who are going to be vocal both on the field and off the field as you possibly can, and I get that.
All right, Travis, OTAs next week. Biggest question for you, roster-wise, free agency mostly in the rearview mirror. The draft obviously has come and gone. As OTAs get set to start next week, what's the biggest questions you have about this roster?
How do they feel about that defensive tackle room? Kind of feels like it's been an answered question. So I guess I hope they're right. But let's see what that looks like when these guys finally start getting truly on the grass and truly, maybe making a little bit of contact. So I'm just curious about what that tackle room is going to look like. I'm curious to see what the safeties room is going to look like. If Darnell Savage is going to really be in the fold, how he's going to be utilized with Ransall, with Eric Murray, etc. So I kind of wanted to see what that secondary is, because again, I have that bias towards the secondary since that's my area. But overall, I think those are the biggest ones. But also Eli Pinkel, the undrafted free agent wide receiver out of Duke, and kind of where that's going to land between him, Joshua Cephas, and a few other guys for that wide receiver 5 spot. I know most of us kind of know that Gladstone is going to lean towards those rookies and getting them those snaps. So I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do there, because Eli Pinkel is 6'3", runs a 4.3 40, 36 vertical. Like, he's one of the few big guys that they truly have on the roster like that. So I think that maybe he's someone who can show that he belongs. It's going to be very interesting because he may actually get some legitimate snaps. So those are a few of my main things, and just want to see Trevor Lawrence get out in the grass and kind of use these two weapons and see kind of how he deploys them.
Yeah, I think the back end of that wide receiver room is a question. I also look at tight end. I mean, Brenton Strange, I like him, but after that, I mean, it's Hunter Long and Johnny Munn. I mean, there's questions at tight end, correct?
That's a fair point, and I know I know the Jaguars leadership, they felt strongly about Hunter Long being someone that came along at the end of his previous season. So maybe that's something that us fans just aren't privy to that information. We don't know what these guys see, thinking that maybe he has an opportunity to be that guy behind Brenton Strange. But I guess we'll all see together on that one, because again, we just don't know until we know. But also looking at it from the Rams' perspective, in past years, they weren't really heavy on their tight end usage. Like, they would use guys, don't get me wrong, but they would be more important to the team than they would be to the, let's say, the fantasy football world as far as the objective stats. They were just guys who are great balanced tight ends. So from that perspective, Brenton Strange may be a great football player, and he may not be your top 10 tight ends in the NFL this season, and that may be just okay with this coaching staff.
All right, Travis, tell us about the Duval Dive podcast, also Big Cat Country. What can people expect in the coming days?
Oh, they can expect. We're still going through our mailbag series currently. If we get a question that is a reasonable question, I should say, asked by the Jacksonville Jaguars fan base, we're going to do our best to ask it. So a lot of the time that results in us having a mailbag of 3 episodes, that we're just going through guys' questions and kind of giving answers to the fan base that they're asking for. So we are going through that right now. So definitely like and subscribe us on YouTube or wherever you catch your podcasts. And keep it locked in to BigCatCountry.com, where we have you covered from all the pressers, all the open, I should say, media available, rookie mini camps, OTAs, and all of the different practices. And again, we allow you to get into the comments, interact, ask the questions that you feel that you want answered, and we'll make sure to kind of respond.
Travis Holmes of the Duval Dive Podcast and Big Cat Country. Travis, appreciate the time. Thank you, man. I'll see you out there at OTAs next week.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it.
There you go. Travis Holmes of Big Cat Country and the Duval Dive Podcast. Always appreciate Travis taking time out for us here on Hacker After Dark. And yeah, rookie minicamp in the rearview mirror. The first OTA for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The first OTA week is next week. They'll have OTAs beginning next week up till about the middle point of June. Then they'll have a mandatory veteran minicamp in the middle point of June, and then they'll go away for 5 weeks. The last little rest and relaxation the players will get till they come back for training camp towards the end of July. Big news in the sports world tonight. The Dallas Mavericks win the NBA draft lottery, and there are insanely upset people all across social media right now. The biggest conspiracy theory. Look, I used to be a conspiracy theory guy. I did in the world of sports. I think as I've gotten older, I've gotten kind of out of that mindset. But this one does make you wonder. And the one that I've seen prevalently over the last 15 minutes since the Dallas Mavericks just won the draft lottery is with LeBron retiring in Los Angeles in the next year or two, you needed a star in L.A. Thus, the Luka Doncic trade to L.A. And in return, Dallas, who had a 1.8% chance of winning the lottery, just lucks into Cooper Flagg tonight in the draft lottery. I don't know. That's interesting. Let's talk to an NBA guy right now. RJ Saunders has open gym beginning at 8 o'clock, and let's talk about it with him right now.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
I hate the draft lottery, and my team has benefited from it. Orlando's gotten, Shaq, Dwight Howard, Penny Hardaway, or Chris Webber that turned into Penny Hardaway.
Paolo Banchero,
of course. So my team has benefited from the draft lottery. I hate it for nights like tonight because no one believes that this is real.
Right.
People believe there was the icy envelope like in Ewing in 84 or whatever that was, 85. If you do it on ESPN, when you see the ping pong balls come out of the machine live on ESPN, then all the speculation goes away. But the fact that Luka got traded to L.A. in one of the dumbest trades in professional sports history, and now 2 months later, Dallas just happens to win the lottery on the year that Cooper Flagg, a generational player, comes out. RJ, that's weird, right?
It's absolutely weird. And I mean, Nico Harrison has to be somewhere in his home right now, smiling from ear to ear. I mean, absolutely tickled pink, but
unless he knew about it already.
Handshake
agreement with
there
Adam
we go.
Silver.
Allow us to put the aluminum foil hat on, man, and say, everything we've known has been a lie. But
you're a Laker fan, right? That's the rumor right now, is that LeBron's retiring.
Okay.
The NBA is going to retire in the next year or two max. You need a star in L.A.
Right.
At midnight, in the middle of the night, I remember on WrestleMania weekend, I'm coming home, and Luka Doncic is traded to L.A., and we all did a double take. Like, what? That's nonsense. And now Dallas just happens to get the rights to Cooper Flagg 2 months later.
This is the NBA's thank you to the Dallas Mavericks. It's, the same as it was the thank you when the Lakers traded for Anthony Davis. I mean, it's like we can't just allow you to give up a generational talent in Anthony Davis and let you guys go with nothing. So you'll get Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, and others, but you'll also get the number 1 pick in the NBA draft as well. So, for me as a Lakers fan, I'm going to say the fix is in. But the other thing that I've really been looking at this is San Antonio getting the number 2 pick. And San Antonio has really been a team to look out for when it comes to the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes that we're going to have here shortly this summer. So does that pick now go to the Milwaukee Bucks at 2 if San Antonio is really going to get into the sweepstakes for Giannis? And do we have now a trio of Giannis, Wemby, and De'Aaron Fox? I mean, that's a team that now immediately I feel is in the mix out west. Not saying they're going to win an NBA championship year one, but I do believe that's a young team that you're going to have to look out for years to come. And then you also look at the Philadelphia 76ers. Listen, they had a bad year this year. Wasn't something in which I think a lot of NBA fans really predicted that they would have when they signed Paul George. But now you're going to get a top 3 player in the NBA draft that I feel is going to put you right in the mix in the Eastern Conference, assuming that everybody can stay healthy, and Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and especially Joel Embiid. So I think there were a lot of fixes everywhere. This is going to make it, especially for an intriguing summer that we're going to see in the NBA, and especially during free agency, as well as especially during the draft, whenever, the trade happens for Giannis, if it's San Antonio or elsewhere.
Quickly, what do you have coming up tonight on Open Gym?
Absolutely. We'll be talking about that with John Gonzalez of CBS Sports. We'll also be talking with JP Shadrick at 8:15, just talking about Travis Hunter and just the pressure that he's going to be able to take off a guy like Trevor Lawrence, who I assume is under a lot of pressure, not only from the fans, but us here at 1010XL and the national media at large. So want to talk with him just about how much Travis Hunter takes a weight off of Trevor Lawrence when doing that. And then a special interview of sorts. I was able to interview Joel Myers. He's the play-by-play voice of the New Orleans Pelicans. Able to talk to him just about the playoff series that are going on currently, but also the future of Zion Williamson, who a lot of people feel he's going to be traded by summer's end. Also, what does he feel about the future of the New Orleans Pelicans? And listen, he was my childhood, especially in middle school on, when it came to the Los Angeles Lakers. So he talks about his time in Los Angeles and gives us a great Kobe story as well that I want everybody to be able to listen to. So JP Shadrick, John Gonzalez, and Joel Myers will all be on the program, and hope you guys stay for the next 2 hours to listen to it.
RJ Saunders has Open Gym, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock right here on 1010XL. Thanks, RJ.
Appreciate you.
All right, Hacker After Dark. That'll wrap it up for us. Glad to be back with you. We're in for Baloo all week, but do not go anywhere. Local programming continues. Again, RJ Saunders, Open Gym, comes up next. Thank you to all our guests tonight. Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4, Brian Sexton, Jaguars.com, and Travis Holmes of Big Cat Country. We'll be back tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, same time, same channel, 1010XL and 92.5 FM. For Dylan Denmark, I'm the Hacker Ryan Green. I hope you have an absolutely terrific night, Jacksonville.
Send Cradle off to do this.
Fat